the innovative plank-built sea craft developed in Northern Europe at this time.
I've been building classic wooden boats for nigh on 40 years. When I was given this job, it was a complete new learning curve for me. I had to start to think like a Bronze Age man. We had to hand carve everything, fit it, look at it, and that looks good, that looks bad. It's just a matter of building by eye all the time.
The design was based on fragments of prehistoric boats discovered in Britain. The biggest challenge was how to build the craft's plank-constructed hull without nails or glue.
We knew from the excavation that they used yew branches from the yew tree, withies, and this is used to tie this plank to this frame and hold the whole boat together. And we're amazed at how strong she is. We thought that would be one of the weak points of the boat, but we've been proven wrong.
To test the viability of their sewn plank hull, Van den Oort and a crew of 19 took the replica on its maiden open water voyage. 16 meters long and weighing over 5 tons, these boats were bigger and had more cargo capacity than any craft built before.
We're just measuring it using GPS, 2.5 knots in cruising speed, so 2.5 sea miles per hour, and when we push it hard, it goes just over 3.5 knots.
Travelling at this rate, a Bronze Age boat could have crossed the channel in less than a day. By mastering the use of planks instead of hollowed-out tree trunks or animal hides, Bronze Age shipbuilders had made a huge leap forward.
She could probably take about 7 tons of cargo. And I think they'd carry livestock, people, and tin ingots.
Van den Oort's wider research on Bronze Age trade has identified prehistoric Britain's special role.
How Britain fits in that picture of these Bronze Age networks is really access to tin, which is a rare metal, but you need it for making bronze objects. And I think that is the critical, valuable that Britain adds into this European network.
At the heart of Britain's commerce was Stonehenge.
Lots of archaeologists have come up with this idea that Stonehenge has become a kind of central place, a place of power. And it may well have been that if you were in Germany and you wanted gold and tin from Congo, that you had to go through the people who we now have found buried in Stonehenge.
The increasingly ostentatious placement of tombs around Stonehenge during the Late Bronze Age confirmed its status as the place for the upper echelons to flaunt their power and influence.
The burial mounds built in between about 2000 and 1700 BC appear to be positioned not only for wider communities to see, but perhaps more importantly for competitor groups to see from other vantage points. We might imagine a kind of political landscape here, where the elites are jockeying for prime position. Funeral events would have served as opportunities for expressing the power of their individuals, but also the power of the groups conducting the funerals.
But they were not just expressing their power within the community. They were also celebrating their wealth, because excavated from some of these high-status tombs has come a remarkable amount of gold.
This absolutely exquisite artefact was discovered in the Bush Barrow in 1808. The Bush Barrow is about half a mile away from Stonehenge and on a direct alignment with the most sacred central area of the monument. It's been dated to around 1950 BC. The piece itself is known as a lozenge. It's almost pure gold. And across the whole of it, there are geometrical designs of parallel lines and diagonal zigzags, and it's perfectly executed. The level of workmanship and the amount of gold in this lozenge indicate that this person was incredibly high status, perhaps a chief, perhaps a senior priest. And they think that it would have sat in the centre of the man's chest, perhaps holding together a garment or perhaps hung in as a pendant of some description. But the most impressive item that was found in the bush barrow grave is actually in this tiny little dish. These are some of the estimated 140,000 tiny gold studs that were placed into the handle of a bronze dagger that was found in this bush barrow grave.
At ultra-high levels of magnification, some of the intricately worked stuff can still be seen embedded in fragments of wood from the handle. Artist Willard Wiggin is uniquely qualified to understand what it took to achieve gold working on this microscopic scale. Wiggin is the world's preeminent nanosculptor, a niche market where smaller is better.
I'm actually producing something that's smaller than a full stop in a newspaper.
Wiggin's completed works sit framed in the eye of a needle, or on the head of a